it's not that I lost relationships. I didn't lose agents, I guess you could say, especially those that were great leaders, but I lost connection with them. So I realized then that I had to let go of control and allow these leaders to build their business and trust them to do it, not the Ashley Khalid way, if that makes any sense. So I realized you've got to have systems in place that automate your time. So that way you allow other people to rise up, let them shine.
Meet Ashley Coley. Today, we are joining her as a powerhouse entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and founder of the Dream Makers team, which is an 8-figure financial services empire with over 150 partners across 11 states. Wow, like jaw-dropping wow. She's also in the heart behind the Dream Makers Ripple Effect Foundation, a nonprofit restoring hope in communities through initiatives like Operation Christmas Blessing. As the first female partner of North American Senior Benefits, Ashley has broken barriers, built legacies, and continues to inspire others to unlock their God-given potential in faith, family, and business. And it is such an honor to have her at the Millionaire Momentum Symposium today. So thank you, Ashley, for joining us. I'm excited to get into this interview with you today.
Absolutely, me too. Fired up.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so just going to jump right into the first question. You shared how being a natural connector and believer in people's potential has led you to create the Dream Makers team. Can you take us back to that pivotal moment when you realized God was calling you to step out of the ordinary and build something extraordinary for others?
Gosh, I mean, if you're wanting me to go all the way back to high school, I think is probably when it really started for me, because when I turned 13, I was in 9th grade, and that's actually when I got saved. It was kind of weird. It was actually at a business conference. Do you ever remember Amway or Quickstar? No? Maybe so. Okay,
yes.
Yeah. So my parents were in Amway, and I just remember for years, they were in this, and they would expose me to a lot of wealthy people. And while most people, kids my age, were probably reading The Hobbit or Twilight series books, my parents were giving me people skill books. And I just remember going to these business events and being introduced to these, incredible people. It wasn't the way that they spoke. I mean, this is who they were. They were very authentic. And I just remember surrendering my life to Christ in that moment. And I felt that everything changed after that. I remember going into clubs in high school and wanting to become like the vice president of FCA or creating the Bulldog Spirit Club with my best buddies. And I remember getting cut from the cheerleading team. I know, how in the world with so much energy could somebody cut me from the cheerleading team on day one? But guess what? I did not have the capacity to do all those crazy arm movements and everything like that. I mean, did you do did you play sports? Yeah, in high school?
I was in the cheerleading squad as well, and it was a lot.
Okay,
I didn't last long.
That's awesome. That is so cool. So yeah, I got cut the first day, and I just remember how my soul gets set on fire is by shepherding and building teams. Bringing people that normally probably would not be brought together. They all have very different skill sets. And when you ignite those skill sets together, and I just remember practicing day and night, bam, hit varsity my junior year, became the 4A double championship winner my senior year. And even, just kind of scooting back just a wee bit from cheerleading, because I got cut from the cheerleading squad, again, it ignited a fire for me to what? Go into dance, became the captain of the dance team in my high school. And I just was involved in so many things. So I feel that God was working on me during that time in high school. It really since the time I was saved, honestly, because I feel like you start to get clarity, but then anything you do, you're going to want to be able to go into anywhere. And you just feel, gosh, because God gave this to you, it's my gift back to him, even though, gosh, he doesn't need me, right? But if he could use me to be able to glorify him to others, so that they can set their eyes on him, as far as a pivotal moment of going from being sick and tired to being broke in my 20s, being a server and a bartender coming out of East Carolina University, doing nothing with my degree. And then I worked my way up at Gold's Gym. And I just remember living paycheck to paycheck, living in an 800 square foot apartment, Alicia. And we had our baby boy, married to Dustin. He was actually like the fitness director at Gold's Gym, and that's how we met. But for 7 years, I was at Gold's Gym, and nothing had changed except for a title and maybe a little bit more money, but then the government takes more money away from you. So that's one of the things is I just remember hitting my knees when I was 29 years young, begging God, please send me the career where I can really utilize that primary skill set that you planted inside of me to shepherd people, to connect the world to other people. What is it? And bam, it was go into a career in life insurance. And that's exactly what I did when I was 29.
Wow. The things that stuck out to me the most is you said your parents involved you at such a young age in these environments of wealthy, successful individuals. And then you said right after that, that's when I gave my life to Jesus. It's like, it's so unconventional, especially it's religiously unconventional to put those two together. But wow, how God introduced you to, no, I actually want you as my child to be successful and wealthy. So thank you for sharing that.
If you ever find somebody that doesn't feel like they're activating their purpose, this is what I say when it comes to purpose. Stop trying to figure it all out. If somebody could be self-aware enough to really gut themselves, what is it that I'm very passionate at? That doesn't mean you go find a career that matches that passion. I feel like that's where people kind of mess up. Because if let's say, for example, and there's nothing, wrong with working at McDonald's or being a busboy or whatever it might be. But here's the concept is that if your passion is helping people, most people say that because we were made in his image. So everybody has this in them to want to help people. Now, how does your gift help the world to be able to connect to them to glorify him? And so that's what you step into every single day. And I feel that if you could find out, it's not even find out. If you could discover what God planted inside of you, we're probably not even activating or living at even 5% of the potential that God has really put inside of us. If you will just push yourself just to that outer layer of slight edge mentality. And the cool thing is like the next day, you become more stronger. You become more courageous. You become more brave. So what used to scare you before really doesn't scare you now today. And I think if people could live into that, then you're leaning into, in my opinion, a purpose-driven life every single day.
Ooh, living the edgy life. I love that.
And I feel like so many people coming out of college, coming out of high school, they ask themselves that same question, I don't know what I want to do in life. Stop asking yourself that question and start asking yourself, what kind of life do I want to have? Period. You want to go travel the world? Great. That doesn't mean because you want to travel the world that you have to be a travel agent. Give me the career that allows me to have the freedom of time and then also the freedom of money, which is in franchising, from what I've been able to discover, or exactly what you've been able to do. It's being able to activate freedom of time, freedom of money. And in my opinion, that's the American dream. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants more time to enjoy their family, their friends, their loved ones. Okay, well, go step into a career where you can have those things. I mean, think about like the life of a Christian. Blessed is the one who's persecuted. But it's not so fun when you're being cursed, when you're being persecuted, when you're being made fun of, or when you're being singled out, when you're separate. Doesn't feel so good, does it? But blessed are those. And I think that is so important to understand that it's okay that we don't like it.
Oh, such good. I could piggyback off of everything you're saying. Like what you said about you don't have to like it. Life isn't about liking everything, but then you do learn to love it.
Has there ever been a day that has actually gone your way 100% of the time?
Never.
But Alicia, check this out. You've overcome every single bad day you've ever had.
Absolutely.
And so if we've overcome every single bad day we've ever had, and if we look at it, we've never, ever, ever, ever had a day yet where everything has gone our way. Even when you're on vacation, it doesn't even go your way. And it's almost like, why can't we just live on his timing versus ours? There's a reason why God didn't bless me yet with this business opportunity until I was 29. It's because I couldn't handle it. God's not going to give you the blessing until you pass the test that he keeps trying to put on your shoulders. Everybody on this planet knows how to be successful. Then why is it that only 5%, if you're looking at income-wise, 5% is where all the world's wealth is made? Who are those people? Business owners, 1099s, small business owners, big business owners, franchising owners. They all own their own business, right? So I just think it's a matter of, it's okay that you're maybe not in the career that you thought you would be in, but I would listen to God and I would get closer to him, Understand what his will is for your life. He is preparing something great for you, but also it's going to be hard for you too. In my opinion, lean into the hard. If you look at Romans 5:3 in the Bible, where it says, through your trials, it creates perseverance, hope, character. The only way to get to the better version of you, the only way to get the characteristics that are needed to be significant and fulfilled in life, you've got to go through trials. So lean into the hard, because that's where, in my opinion, that's where growth lies. That's where progress lies.
Love it. So good. And that scripture you said, the hope comes after the perseverance. So
Yes.
to your point, if you don't persevere, it won't ignite a level of hope that can then turn into unwavering faith. Like the hope comes after the leaning into the hard. And that revelation just came up as you were talking. Like I never put that together. You have to lean in first.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people feel like the hope comes before, or the faith comes before, as if it just falls down on them out of nowhere. It's like, no, it comes when you lean into the hardest moments. That's when it's actually activated. Phenomenal. Yeah. So good. Okay, so you've built not just a business, but you've built a community of over 150 partners across 11 states. That's massive. How have faith, strategy, and leadership principles come together in your journey? And why is that balance so critical for entrepreneurs today?
I don't believe that faith or hope is a strategy. I believe it is part of who I am. It's a part of my identity. And I feel that when you apply action and execution, that's where strategy comes into play. Is what is your execution plan? What are you going to do next? What's that next step that you got to do? I don't believe in balance. I don't. Sometimes, for example, when I had to sell my engagement ring for rent money, when I was pregnant with Chloe back in 2014. She was my second child, and I had 2 miscarriages before that, devastating. And when I delivered Chloe, I took 10 months off from working at North American Senior Benefits, just as an agent, and we were poor as dirt. Alicia, when I say the word poor as dirt, the 15th of the month would come by. My husband was working at Sprint, making $1,700 a month. If you did the math, our rent was $1,250. Our car bill was about $300. We had a second car that was paid off because it was given to us from his mom that would constantly shut out on us. I don't even think it was worth $500. That's how bad it was. I actually got in a big car accident with that rascal of a car. And I think that, you know how people say that line that live as if every day it is your last? It's not so much living as if every day was your last, as much as it is, can you live with urgency, but can you be still in the moment? Like Psalm 46:10 says, be still and know that I am God. Be still. I remember I started building at such a big level in 2016 that the relationships that I had built with my front line, going from 8 agents to then 30 agents, there's a big difference in that as far as management, as far as your time, your family. And it's not that I lost relationships. I didn't lose agents, I guess you could say, especially those that were great leaders, but I lost connection with them. So I realized then that I had to let go of control and allow these leaders to build their business and trust them to do it, not the Ashley Khalid way, if that makes any sense. So I realized you've got to have systems in place that automate your time. So that way you allow other people to rise up, let them shine. That's leadership, in my opinion. It has nothing to do with you. We're multitaskers. We are able to do a lot of things at once. We're able to wear a lot of hats, but then also we forget to take care of ourselves. We forget to take care of just being able to be still, just to look at things from a different lens as to what really is so amazing, the little things that God's been able to put in our life, like breath, right? So I just think it's alignment. As far as a strategy goes, focus on that next step. And then who can help you go to the next step? If I could redo it all over again, Alicia, I would have gotten to onlinephjobs.com and I would have hired a virtual assistant for $4, $5, $6 an hour because they're so appreciative of work. And them making that kind of money is almost like us in the US making $20 an hour. Okay. So I just think that's what I would have done differently then.
Such amazing insight. Share that website one more time for our listeners because they may want to go there.
Yeah, I want to say it's onlinephjobs.com.
Awesome.
And yeah, phenomenal. Absolutely. You can do a job post. I want to say it's maybe $50 or something like that. Just to create a job post for whatever it is you need. Maybe you need somebody to create reels for you on social media. I was doing all of them through CapCut. CapCut, I want to say is what, $4.99 a month or something.
Oh,
And
it's more.
sometimes
It's
I
like
still,
$19.99 a month now.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, there's apps that you want to use as a business owner. You got to have Chat GPT Plus. You've got to have CapCut. You've got to have Canva, because these are things that you can create things for social media, because social media is the number one way to market. Instagram is for business. You look at Facebook. Facebook's great for ads, but it's more geared more towards, I guess, depending on who you're trying to gravitate towards.
Such good information. I'm thinking about what you said about the being still. It seems like the
Yes.
higher you've gotten, or the higher your capacity, the more your bandwidth has expanded as far as responsibility and leadership. Okay, so your journey started as a server, like you talked about, a server and a bartender, and
Yeah.
then into corporate leadership at Gold's Gym, like you shared, and then ultimately into financial services, where you have built an 8-figure empire. What are some of the defining steps that gave you the courage and the resilience to keep climbing?
Well, I would say it's probably not the most healthiest motive. It was revenge. Honestly, it was revenge. I want to say Michael Jordan had the same concept when he would win games. Is he would almost have an adversary that he was trying to beat. And for me, it was everybody that maybe laughed at me, made fun of me, said that I couldn't do something, and I would have them in the back of my brain, and that would allow me to just run. I feel that especially if you're a parent right now, or if you lack a certain characteristic, go be around people that have that characteristic so it can positively influence you. We're the parent, right? So in other words, we're the ones giving them the boundaries. Sometimes they don't know what's good for them. Like school. Well, I don't feel like going to school. Do you just not have your kid go to school that day because they don't feel like going? No, I don't feel like going to church. So do you just not go to church because they don't feel like it? Well, I don't want to do this sport. If you know that it's going to put them in an arena where fighters exist, do it. So we put him into jujitsu. Whoa. I want to say it was about 3 months later, the soccer coach came back up to Christian and said, "Do you want to try it again?" Because again, that was always inside of him, was this urgency, this aggressiveness to go fight after something. And that if you get beat up and beat up and beat up, holy cow, time and time again, but then all it takes is that one time where you've had enough. And so if you said, hey, well, what really do people have to do? I guess you could say in like a motive, I just wanted the revenge, but that revenge came into something different, because once I hit 6 figures in 2016, it wasn't about the revenge. Then I started building, and it was more about how many people can I help create 6 figures for their families, because I would see the tangibles from them pursuing their dream because of the intangibles that existed inside of them that they were able to build, create, tap into. The intangible, like courage and bravery. How did I tap into courage? I just wanted my dad to be proud of me, period.
It helps so much. I feel like you mentioned how maybe your motive isn't like the most righteous in the beginning, we'll say, who knows, right? But you
Angry.
rode the
Yeah.
wave and God's glory came on it, right? You rode
Yeah.
that wave, and then it helped you tap into what he really wanted you to be motivated by. And so
100%.
that's an amazing lesson. It's just ride the wave. Whatever's fueling you right now, as long as you're not hurting people, obviously. But if it's fueling grit and it's fueling determination to succeed, ride that wave. When you were talking about revenge, I really just heard you saying, I was taking revenge against the enemy, because the enemy was probably guiding these people to say these negative things out of their mouth, because that's not of God, right? That criticism and that talking down. And so I literally saw you punching the devil in his face. Like, oh, really? Oh, you got something to say? Okay, watch.
Right.
Watch.
If you want more, you got to become more. And so there's so many things, but to understand that we are only here but for a whiff of time. Relationships, besides your relationship with Christ, people's relationships, loving his people that he made. It's okay to disagree with them, but loving them still. Not loving the sin, but loving the person that God created.
Where you're at in your life is a product of how you think. You talked about that conflict that you used to go through of, my progress is attached to my value as a person. And I'm just so glad you named that. And you said that honestly, because I can totally relate to that so much. And it's something we have to continue to check. So thank you for naming that. because it's true. It's like, okay, maybe I didn't make this much progress. That has nothing to do with my value as a person. Like you said, we have to love people as God loves them, not love their sin, but love them. Okay, so looking toward 2025 and beyond, what's one bold prayer or vision you have for how people of faith will rise in entrepreneurship and specifically wealth creation?
My vision is, I believe that, I want to say it's in 1 Samuel 17:32, when David and Goliath, I remember David, I can't remember if it was whoever it was, the king or something like that, and they said, go and fight. David, go and fight. The vision is that people would realize how much potential they really have activated. Find out what that spiritual gift really is. Figure out what it is as far as a problem that you can help solve for the world, and then go find out who it is that you need to help come alongside you. How awesome is that? That you can have leaders that are unafraid, unapologetic, unwavering in their faith. I guess the way I see it is a vision. It's a ministry. What's your ministry? That you can, God doesn't need you. And I think that's the hard thing. Like, when I really think about it, is I don't deserve this success. I don't even feel that I've earned it, quite frankly. Completely undeserving. I believe that if folks would just learn, discover more about the God that made them, I think it would unlock the door of the questions that they keep asking, because they might be asking the wrong question. Why me? Versus use me.
You said a lot there. You said a whole lot there. As a princess, I love that. I call myself princess too. I love it. I don't hear many women call themselves princess. So that's so special. Like, you see the opportunity, right? Versus like, why me? You're saying, why not me? You're saying, I don't have the resources. You're saying you're extremely resourceful. The resources are here. Just tap into resourcefulness. There's just so much opportunity that I hear coming through you. And I pray that the listeners today really catch this wave of opportunity. Nothing is stopping you but you. And as you were speaking about the successor, I thought about Joshua, who was the successor of Moses, and how Moses died on the outskirts looking onto the promised land. He couldn't get into the promised land, but his successor could. And so it's like, we are the successors of the people from the old covenant. Like, we're in this new covenant. Like you said, God has changed the world already. The world's changed. We're just flowing in his grace. We are the successors. But then thinking about the successors after us is just so powerful. It takes the spotlight off of us. Okay, so this is my last question for you. Thank you so much for all the insight in this interview. You've scaled to 8 figures while equipping others to hit 6 and 7 figures themselves. So what are 1 or 2 essential moves you'd encourage the faith-driven entrepreneur to make to reach the $1 million milestone without sacrificing their faith, their values, or their peace?
I would say first one is find out who it is that can help, because I think as women, we want to control, we want to do everything ourselves, that we're the best at everything. It's okay that who you find to help you isn't the best like you are. It allows them to become the best. So that's number 1, is find out your who. And for example, it like I said, it might be a virtual assistant. It could be, if whatever it is that's causing you so much stress, think about why it's causing you so much stress. Like we said earlier, purpose is simple. Also, be resourceful. Okay, so just breathe first off and do a brain dump to get clarity. What is all on my plate right now? What can I delegate for someone to help me? I can't tell you how many people in the beginning, when I was poor, eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, my friends felt so bad they would give me a gift card to go to Chili's with me and my husband, because we never went on dates in 2015. Because my main focus was, it wasn't about creating wealth for the family. It was, hey, listen, I just want to have one day where I can go to the grocery store and have a grocery cart and not a basket. Like, that was my dream in 2015. And then that would be my second thing, is what strategy can you put together to help you get to the next step? Which means there's got to be somebody that can help you, like a coach. Find out who it is that can invest in you. It could just be a mutual relationship, if that makes any sense. Like, some people are like, oh, you're all about the money. No, I'm not sitting here talking about about the money. You got to take a risk in order to have a return on that risk. If you don't take a risk, you're never going to experience ROI, return on investment. I feel like people are just afraid to take the risk. The ones that say, I don't know what to do next. Yes, you do. Yeah, you do. You know exactly what to do next. You just need to take a moment and breathe. Stop with the distractions of social media, your phone, getting on Instagram. Breathe and write it down. I think you'll discover what your next step really is as far as your execution strategy. And then find out and write down, who do I need to become in order to make this next step happen. Because where you are now is not going to be able to get you to where you need to be here. You've got to discover new skill sets, a higher capacity, so that if you're making $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000 a month right now in your career and you want to make 10,000, well, number one question is that career able to make you $10,000 a month? Or are you in the complete wrong vehicle? Get the freak out of that vehicle and get you into a different vehicle that's going to be able to allow this 10, 20, 40, 50, 60, 100,000 plus dollars a month kind of income. You do that. Get into a realm of somebody that you can trust that's able to invest in you. I would say that keep it simple. I think those are just the two things. Find out your who, and then discover what's my next move. Write it down. What type of person do I need to become next? Activate those ingredients. Guess what? You're going to change. What if people see a change in me? Fantastic. Great job. You shouldn't be the same person you were 5 years ago. If you are, that's not good. When somebody says, man, you just changed, Ashley, good. It's working. Thank you for telling that to me. Like,
ooh, a compliment.
I don't care what other people think. So, and we have church. There you go, right? So we have a church right now, Alicia.
Right. We are. Yes. That's the whole point of this, honestly. Like that's like the underlying motive here. Oh, I love that. Simplicity, simplicity. I just keep hearing it. It's so simple. It's not that difficult. It's not that hard, but we overcomplicate it and we confuse ourselves. And I just keep hearing you say how God isn't the author of confusion. So we need not be in confusion. And taking change and people reflecting that change back to you as if it's a criticism, it's actually a full-blown compliment.
Oh, yeah.
So good. And I love how you mentioned coaching as well. So 100%. Simple to just sit back and be told what to do. I love that.
Be a student for the rest of your life.
Be a student. Yeah.
Always. No matter how high the level is, you've never arrived. You can always learn from people. A great book that I highly recommend for leaders is Simon Sinek's book, Leaders Eat Last. The best characteristic a leader can have is to be a servant-driven leader. Serve others. Serve. You be the last to eat. I'm used to eating cold food all the time. I'm almost accustomed to it. I kid you not. I'm very accustomed to it. So that for other people to feed and to eat first.
Awesome. And I'll plug all of those show links below to make it. I like simplicity as well, Ashley. I really do. Like, you don't have to go search. Listeners, just follow the links below and you'll see all of her contact things, all the social media. And also, Ashley, you mentioned it, the Builder's Blueprint. So she's offering you a free Builder's Blueprint, which will help you grow. If you're already in life insurance, right? It'll help you grow from 0 to 100K in the first year as an agent. But then she also has another resource where she'll help you go from 0 to 100K as a brand new life insurance agent in your first year. So 10K a month. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, and we're actually working on a book right now. It's called Kill Casual Connections, and it'll be my first book. I'm really excited about it. I'm working with Coach Burt on this one, and just being able to show people that, hey, if you could look at interactions differently at the gas station, when somebody comes into an elevator, there's so many things. You might be one connection away from an Elon Musk, okay? Or from meeting this person. And I think if we would just open up our mouths and have that overflow from our heart of just gratitude, and I think if we could just turn these empty interactions into relationships that compound, do you have any idea what it would do for you? And so that's the whole book in 7 chapters is really going to be teaching people how to kill these darn casual connections and allow them to, just have relationships in life.
Wonderful, wonderful. And for those of you who upgraded to the Kingdom Legacy package, Ashley is sharing something even more special for you. She has hiring opportunities, so potential hiring opportunity as a life insurance agent. So you can schedule a 30-minute call, one-on-one, personalized call with her. Okay, this woman is busy. So this is special. So tap into that if you upgraded, because that's amazing. Like, you're offering opportunities to just immediately accelerate their income and tap into a network of wealth builders, leaders, and servants to steward God's glory through what you do. So wonderful. Thank you so much, Ashley, for your time. I learned so much during this. I'm going to go back and learn some more. I loved this. It was so great connecting with you.
It's been an honor. Thank you for all that you do. And thank you so much for serving all these communities out there. incredible empowerment. Appreciate you, Big Tom.
Thank you. I appreciate you too. We'll talk soon.